I believe we're live, and I want to take a minute to welcome you back for day 14 of 21-day anti-aging protocol to awaken your inner lioness. And I want to congratulate every single one of you for participating, for catching up, for doing all the work that's required to be a part of this training. I got a little feedback that it's been a lot, and so I acknowledge you for following through. Yesterday we took a day off. I wanted you all to catch up and feel better with what you're doing. Let me just make sure my sound is good. And as I'm doing that, I invite you to check in with me. Let me know what's been helpful as far as this training is concerned. What inspiration, what action, what idea, what realization came up out of your participation, what has shifted. And let me also know where you're tuning in from. I know some of you are in the West Coast, some of you are all over US, somebody from Europe, somebody from Australia. There's people from all over the world, which I love. And I want to just make sure that I connect with some of you and you let me know what you're dealing with. If there's something you need, I send a message to most of you today, as many as I had an opportunity to do. And don't hesitate to reach out as well. We have one more week of the training, and I will go through today the actual anti-aging protocol that is linked with the topic of this training specifically. So let me finish putting day 14. We're live. Join us. And then I'm going to tag it to the top so the people that are in the group can find us easily. And then we're going to go right into the training. There's always different settings that Facebook changes, so sometimes it's a little bit more complicated to get through and tag everybody. So I appreciate everybody's patience with that, and ooh, I will just tag it to the top at this point because for some reason it's not letting me do anything else other than that. Every day is a different book, and we learn. So I'm posting this and I'm tagging you on the top. Let me just make sure I'll do the last thing and we go on. I think some of you just take a little while to also tune in. For some reason, it's not coming up. Day 14. Yes, there you go. Yeah, it's not letting me tag you and it's not letting me tag it on the top. It's interesting. Every day it's a different thing, like I said. Well, I'm going to trust that whoever is meant to find it will find it because it's not letting me do any of the things that will normally it will let me do, which is tagging you or pin it to the top. It's always a new experience. So if you're not able to find this live video, hopefully you'll find it in the replay. We're not going to stress about the rest because there is nothing I can do to control any of that. And so we're going to go right into the training. I've been talking a lot about the hormones, and I've been talking about that because it's really important for women in middle age. I opened my Facebook account this morning, and one of my friends for many years said, PSA, public service announcement. And then she said, women in middle age, please make sure you check your hormones. Uh, and she said something of the like it could actually mess you up. And I agree with the message, and I posted a little reflection there because truly that's been my journey. That's been my experience going through perimenopause, menopause, and I'm already past menopause. Even though I'm 49, I'm well after menopause. It's not for the faint of heart, especially when you don't know what's going on. Maybe you don't have the support of your doctor. I have a doctor who's amazing. She explained a lot of the process to me, but it took me a long time to find the right kind of help, somebody who could hold my hand, explain, help me understand, and deal with all the side effects from going through menopause that have been coming up, especially in the last year. that took a lot of little tweaking on the hormones that I take and paying attention to the symptoms. And she always honored what I said and modify my dosages until I actually am where I am. So the process for me, we're now in July. The process for me started in November of last year. And one of the things that is my interest in offering a training like this, and also the program that I offer as a follow through, is that you don't have to guess and you don't have to get frustrated, and you got the kind of support that you need, accountability, somebody who answers your questions. You can go through the process measuring your hormones and going right into the hormone replacement therapy instead of having to waste time in between all these things. Hormones is something that you want to test blood to make sure you're healthy. But usually, what doctors do is they treat symptoms. They ask you about your symptoms, and based on your symptoms, they're gonna give you the right protocol. And what I personally do at this point is that I am partnered up with a network of doctors, and where they actually go through the process of testing the hormones, and then they go into the prescription protocol for the hormone replacement therapy so that you have exactly what you need based on your blood exams, but mostly based on your symptoms, because it changes from woman to woman, it changes from face to face, it changes, quite frankly, from day to day. Sometimes, things do get better after you get the hormone replacement therapy. But personally, I've been through the process of having to tweak it a couple of times, and I've always grateful for having somebody who could go through the process with me, explaining, empowering me, letting me make choices, and giving me all the education that I needed to make the right choices as well. And so we're going to talk today about the tips. Um, Let me just go make sure that I go. For some reason, it's lit that. Oh, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but it seems like everything is kind of funky nowadays. Everything seems to be very funky. Technology is being funky, and connections have been funky, specifically the last few days. So we were talking about hormones and how important it is to balance the hormones, because having one hormone be off can cause cravings, can cause tiredness, can cause lack of sleep, can cause irritability, can cause a bunch of different things. And you don't want to go through the process of the discomfort. If you have something that can make a difference for you right now and that the doctor can give you that would ease some of the symptoms, dissipate some of the discomfort, you want to get your hands on whatever that is right away. And some doctors are not aware on what they could do that will make a difference. They're not aware, on the impact that it has on us. And quite frankly, some doctors minimize the problems that we go through because they're not aware, they haven't been through, they're not women. And in many cases, they have not been trained to pay attention to those little nuances that women need. And there's many more options for men that have low testosterone than it is for us women going through menopause. And so, we're still far behind as far as medicine is concerned and health care options for women. But I've been through all of that, and I'm already at the point where I got the testosterone that's not covered by the health insurance through meeting with these doctors that I found as a resource, an alternate resource, even though I pay a ton of money on health insurance. My health insurance does not cover any. So that's the dichotomy of this day and age, that we are all women of middle age going through menopause, but sometimes we don't have the resources. Sometimes we don't have the doctor that can give us the support and the reassurance or the solutions. Certain therapies are not even covered. And testosterone is like the one thing that comes to mind right away. It should be covered for women. It's not cheap, and it's not something we should have to pay out of pocket if we have insurance. It's fully paid out of pocket. There is not even something that they cover. So it's really outdated, quite frustrating, and it doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. And I'm here just to give you a little bit of compassion and understanding and tell you that I've been through all of that. If you're going through it now and you're trying to figure it out why you're sweating at night or why you're not sleeping or why you feel like you want to take a nap at 3 or the belly has started growing and you're like, I don't know. I never had a belly. All those things are specifically things that we go through in menopause. And so, what we're going to talk today about is the actual protocol that will help you minimize the side effects and the discomfort that you go through in menopause. And through addressing these concerns, you're also promoting the anti-aging that is available when we are resting, when we're eating right, when we're exercising, all the things that we have to do. Our body has the ability to do the self-healing process. And if we're not optimizing our health and we're not eating right and we're not sleeping right, the body will never go into that relaxation mode, self-healing mode to repair the body while you sleep. And so that's why it's important that we really pay attention to what can we do naturally, holistically, as a form of prevention or supporting our self-healing process. Most of it happens at night, but it's also the prevention of the things that you eat and how you take care of yourself and doing mindfulness and good, wholesome nutrition and all the things that we have to do. And so we're going to talk about today the longevity blueprint, which is a combination of things that are important for women in middle age. And we're going to discuss a little bit of that. Middle age is not, or midlife is not the, isn't the beginning of the end. It is the beginning of your strongest chapter, yes, yet. So if you want to stay active and independent and confident and full of energy for the years to come, you need to not miss the training tonight. Tonight we're talking about muscle. When we talk about muscle, we talk about um, preventing situations, diagnosis, and or issues with osteoporosis. As you enter midlife, the bones start getting porous and just losing the strength. And it is important that we do the resistance training to keep up with the muscle. The other thing is building muscle takes protein. And so it is important that we continue to be intentional at eating enough protein. It also repairs our muscles after a workout. So if you go work out, you come back, the first thing you want to eat within 2 hour window of that workout is a little bit of protein. Some of us wait too long to eat, and when we're hungry, what we crave is carbohydrates because it's the quickest way for our body to have a comeback, to feel good, to have that little a little energy, that little upper kind of thing. But then the sugar will dissipate, and then you have the insulin entering the stream, and then the insulin will keep on looking for sugar, and it makes you feel really crummy. So if we can avoid that, increase on the sugar, which in turn increase the insulin, which in turn, when we crash, makes us feel crummy, you will have a more balanced sugar blood level. And it is very important because it helps you prevent insulin resistance, diabetes type 2, and or any metabolic issues that can show up when your insulin is going up and down due to the sugar going up and down. And so we want to minimize the up and we want to stay more stable. And many times, as I said, we wait until the last minute and when we're tired and hungry and we don't want to prepare food from scratch. The easiest way is to grab chips, to grab something crunchy, and that will actually make it worse. And so we have to start being more dedicated to our self-care, and that's going to be very important. And then the last of the 3 points that we're talking about, the first one was muscle, the second one is protein, the third one is movement and recovery. I said movement and I say recovery. Why? Because women tend to overdo it. We either don't do anything at all or we put so much demand because we feel when we get to that bottom of the barrel, when clothes don't fit, when we're frustrated, when our body aches, when we're embarrassed because the clothes don't fit the way we want, or we're frustrated because we thought we could fit on this dress that we bought and we're not able to fit, whatever the case might be, embarrassed to go to the beach, whatever the case might be, it's important way to understand that that is a function of you not taking care of for a long time, and it's going to take time to repair. But it also takes that commitment, that discipline, that consistency that is very unlikely to happen to us unless we focus and we become intentional and we make it a priority. I tend to attract a lot of women that are heart centered, very compassionate, love to make a difference, want to make a big impact in the world. They're so inspired with the legacy they're going to leave behind. But quite frankly, they are sort of like what my last version of myself was, which was like, I want to save the world, but I can't save myself, struggling with, lack of balance, nervous system regulation, accountability, consistency, discipline. I was the one that would lose 2 pounds and would start eating again because all of a sudden I started feeling better. And so it took me a long time to get to the point of, hey, my self care needs to be a priority, especially when I'm holding space for other women to kind of get to that point of like, my self care should be my priority. Yeah, but the should is not even making a difference. It's like, it's my priority right now, from now on, non-negotiable. I'm not going to feel bad. I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to explain myself. I'm not going to do any of that. I know for a fact the most important thing is me. And I don't need to feel bad or guilty about that. I need to be intentional. And from you empowering yourself, then everybody around you empowers themselves. They feel empowered, they feel alive, they feel excited for you, for what you offer for them. Because when we're run down, when we're burned out, when we're exhausted, when we're frustrated, when we're drained, we're no fun to be around. And quite frankly, a lot of the women that I tend to attract, whether they're single or married with kids, they have that sense of being overextended, not prioritizing the self care, and having a hard time feeling guilty and or like it's something wrong, like I should not be doing all this for myself, I should not be investing my money on myself, I should know this, I should XYZ, right? The shoulda, coulda, mighta, the story of our life. We keep on making ourselves wrong for things that didn't happen. It doesn't matter at this point. Past is past, present is present, future is future. We need to make a better choice for the future. And there's a delay response. Many times we do the discipline, the consistency, the behavior, and it doesn't show up as a result until like 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. And so the discipline comes first, the commitment, the consistency, and then comes the result, the victory, the actual proof of the effort that you put forth. And so when I say movement and recovery, it's hand in hand. You being burned out, tired, overwhelmed, spread thin, resentful, giving up, when you get to the point of giving up, it doesn't help anybody. So you have to get to the point where your self care is a priority, and that equals movement as well as recovery. We overdo it every day to the gym. I want to go and walk 3 miles a day, and now my feet are hurting, right? I get a shin splint and got a blister. I feel exhausted the rest of the day. I don't feel like doing anything else, whatever the case might be. We want to balance the action with rest. And we want to start in increments. We want to be more consistent and disciplined than going really extra and burn ourselves out, because we do that for a short period of time, but then we end up giving up, cynical, and resign, and we get out of completely trying, and then we come back and we go into that vicious cycle over and over again. I only been working with women since 2001, but specifically after the 2020, I see that eternal cycle of beating ourselves up, making ourselves they are means for you, right? I should have already lost the weight. I should have already figured out my hormones. I should have already improved my sleep. Should have already blah blah blah. Whatever the case might be, it doesn't matter. You're exactly where you need to be. You might need a little more accountability and support, maybe, or you need to really commit and make yourself a priority and make it a non-negotiable thing, and that includes the building of the muscle by exercising so that you can age gracefully, so you can start looking toned and strong and keep the flexibility, as well as the look, right? When we are toned and we're strong, complete different look than when we have our skin kind of sagging, no muscle tone or anything like that. So it's going to make us feel better. It's going to be better for our health, and it's going to look better when we start toning our body. So the exercise needs to be building muscle mass to avoid and or contrast situations with the bone density. Bone density becomes super important. One of the most common things that happens with women in middle age is their bones start getting brittle, especially around the hip. And then they're not working out on a regular basis, or their balance starts being off. And then out of doing an activity at home or walking on the street, they lose their balance, fall on the ground, and break their hip, which makes it a really hard recovery. And that all can be avoided if you're able to keep the bone density and keep the balance and be strong and be disciplined with your workout, but also take the time to heal, repair, rest, relax, have fun, and not do exercise every day, 3 hours a day, because all of a sudden I want to lose the 10 pounds and I want it gone as of yesterday, right? That kind of stress doesn't help you. It's not sustainable. And it ends up going into a loop that you get frustrated, give up, and start again, and so on, and so on, and so on. And so we want to be balanced with the effort. And then the last um, 2 points were the protein, right? Building the muscle, keeping myself strong, not eating the carbohydrate, which is a quick fix that ends up making you tank your energy, feel crummy afterwards, and crave more sugar in no time. Just so going with the protein intake, measuring, being aware, planning your meals, buying more of it, having it more available at hand's reach. And it might take a little bit of paying attention, slowing down, disciplining yourself, and repeat, rinse and repeat. Because it's not, our society is not built for us to eat a lot of protein. Like nowadays, now I know that a lot of women are, or a lot of people are in the GLPs and the peptide world, then you need more protein. But generally, it's not something that everybody's thinking about. Oh, I need more protein. Or the food in the supermarket is not with protein added to. Right now, that is what is driving the protein being added to all the products in the shelf and more. Chips with protein, yogurt with protein, ice cream with with protein. I don't know what else they can add the protein to. It's good, but at the same time, I know that it comes from that trend of people overusing the peptides for weight loss and knowing that if they don't eat enough protein, what happens is the body gets really saggy skin and loses muscle. Muscle mass is lost with that. And so being aware of that and keeping it into account. I was listening to a podcast this morning that discussed the impact of those medicines that you can take, and that, we should really try to do everything in our power to go the holistic approach and be very aware that we don't know to what extent what those medications can have consequences or side effects, what the impact is long term. And so we have to be always aware of there is another way, which is the holistic way. There's another way, which is the commitment, consistency, focus, prioritization of my self care. And it comes from a place of loving yourself and making it a non negotiable thing. There's nothing that can stop me. I'm going to focus on this self care. I'm going to put in the movement, the protein intake. I'm going to do the recovery as well. And I'm going to build muscle the way that a midlife woman can, which is a combination of the movement with the protein and being able to rest as well, to be able to let the body do what it does when you work out with resistance training and weight. And so those are the three topics for today. I do want to share with you guys that for the last 2 weeks, I've been sharing in depth and a lot of tips and tricks and information on my own journey and my own experience. I do want to share today, if you may allow me to share with you, that I have a program that I offer for women that are in that phase of life where they're feeling overwhelmed, they don't know where to start, they feel off, they feel like body fat is increasing, they feel like they're not sleeping well, they don't know what's going on underneath. And so all of a sudden you need a little support, you need a little understanding, you need a little accountability, and you frankly want to understand what's going on, that you kind of keep on going into that loop of maybe tired or frustration or lack of focus, whatever it is that is showing up for you. Because as I said before, it's different to each one of you. And for me, it was irritability, lack of sleep, lack of focus, little belly fat, but for other women can be other things. It could be depression, it could be anxiety, it could be many other things that shows up. And so what I want to do first before everything else that I'm going to continue to share with you today is share the link, and I'm going to put it in the chat. Let me just find wherever I ended up. Yes, there we go. In the chat, you're going to see the document with all the information about the program. If you know that you're interested after reading it, there's a strong resonance, you have questions, you want to go over it, you want to pick my brain about anything that you've been through the training, reach out to me. We'll make an appointment. There's also in the form itself the opportunity to click on it and make an appointment at the very bottom of the document. But basically, this program has been designed based on what my journey's been, going through the process of measuring the blood, exam results, looking at where we are, going through the process of measuring the hormones through the blood, and then doing the hormone replacement therapy based on what you need, based on where you are, whatever you're needing. And it's done by a doctor. So I'm partnered up with a network of doctors, and they offer you the opportunity to do the blood exam in addition to the hormone replacement therapy. And through the next 12 weeks, 3 months, we're able to balance the hormones in a way that you're going to increase the quality and quantity of sleep, better your focus, increase vitality, address those concerns, maybe night sweats or poor quality sleep that's been bugging you, that's been irritating you, maybe increase their level of focus, whatever it is that is going to do for you. What I know to be true is ever since I got myself in their therapy, the hormone replacement therapy, I sleep better, I focus better, I'm able to have more energy throughout the day. I don't need that afternoon nap as much, even though I wake up early, my body just wakes up on its own. But it's been like 8 months, 9 months of research, trial and error, have the doctor tweak it, ask questions, have another doctor's appointment, tell them how I feel, having the doctor tweak my program. And then finally, I am in this place where I'm like, okay, I can actually relax. My body released about 10 pounds in the last 2 months. I feel better sleep, more relaxed, better focus, less irritability, more present, more positive, and all those things. It's a big win for me because it was a struggle for many years. I think I started at the age of 42, and up until 48, that was 6 years of my life that was complete uh, chaos in many ways. Physically feeling tired, achy body, pre-diabetic conditions, hormones being off, sweat at night, um, belly fat showing out of nowhere. Never being a person with a big belly. That was not totally not something I was used to it. And all of a sudden I was just not really having it, right? And so being able to address all these concerns and go in the best way possible with doctor's guidance and also following your inner guidance, not override what the doctor said. It's not always the last word. Sometimes you get a sense on what you're feeling that's slightly dissonant with what the doctor is telling you. Like when I broke my elbow, for example, they're like, you're going to lose 10 to 15% of mobility. They only had to say that for me to go and try to prove the doctor wrong. And I lost maybe 6 to 7, 8, I think the most of the mobility in my arm, but it wasn't anywhere near what the doctor said. So don't accept the doctor's opinion or assessment as the actual truth and or culprit. Sometimes they give us guidance, even when they give, terminal, sentences to people saying that they're going to be here for a certain amount of time. They're at the last bit of their life, and then people end up living for many more years. That happens all the time. Doctors make a mistake all the time, and or they don't give you the accurate kind of diagnosis, and then you have to go back and kind of figure it out with them. So sometimes we know best. Sometimes we don't get to be listened to as much as we want to. And that's why I'm offering what I'm offering. The 12-week program is a way to be accountable, to be inconsistency, to start creating the transformation from a place of action, not giving up, and having really the right support that you need from the community and me walking the journey with you. asking you how you feel. How did that make a difference or not? What do you feel like we need to adjust? How is your nutrition? How is your sleep? Are you working out? Are you drinking water? There's a lot of things that we need to do. And sometimes we don't feel like doing them. So the first thing is not asking yourself, do I feel like doing it? It's just making a commitment. And because you want to embody the next version of you, the next level of you, the next empowered, you know, way of being that you want to embody, then you have to stop doing the things from the past, release that version of you, start getting empowered, address the concerns, look for the resources, get the support that you need, and you're well worth the effort, the commitment, and the investment because the return you're going to get on that investment will be tenfold productivity, feeling better, more energy, better focus, less irritability, more libido, better sleep, more, focus on wholesome nutrition, making the changes, tweaking the habits, creating a new lifestyle so that you can up level in your life, so you can feel better, so you can lose the fat, you can do all the things that you want to do. And for some of you, it's as simple as avoiding or limiting the aging process. And that can be done when we balance the hormones. Why? Because when we have the hormones lack in balance, then the sleep is highly disturbed. And when we don't sleep well, then we don't go into that self repair process that we normally go. And so I will put this particular link for you guys to look at the program and the details and ask me questions or make an appointment, book a time to talk. And don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions that I can answer through the messenger. But most times it takes some more, intention than just looking at the material. You want to have a conversation. You want to think about how you can make it work. You want to make yourself a priority. You want to make a courageous decision to invest in yourself and get the right support so that you can win in this process versus feeling overwhelmed, resigned, and cynical. And so I think that's where we're going to leave it. We have 14 days of training. We have a week left. I want to do at least one Zoom where we can gather and get together and chat, and you can ask questions and I can share more. I don't know if there's any suggestions on the dates of the week, but if you have a suggestion, let me know, and I'll be happy to kind of do that. If not, I think I might do next Monday, the final session in a Zoom session and invite all of you to participate. That one Monday, 8 p.m. next week. And for the ones that are not able to participate, I'll be happy to send a recording, but not for the people that are in US that are not able to participate, that, they just don't make the time or the priority. Some of you are going to be in times that don't allow you to participate, like, some people in Europe or Australia. It's odd time in the middle of the night. And I know who you guys are, because I'm following where people come from and where they're at. And so we want to complete the training today. If you have any more homework, post it. You'll have an opportunity to win a free session. For the people that won the free session, please claim it. I have appointments this week, but after next week, you're not going to be able to take advantage of the free session. And it's highly beneficial if you have something you're dealing with or you need a little, inspiration or a plan to move forward and or, get a new possibility created for the plan that you want to move forward with. Okay, so with that, we're going to complete day 14. I'll be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So come back for the live or watch the replay. Thank you for being a part of the training. Thank you for being here for the live or replay. Please put hashtag replay if you're watching the replay and let me know if there's anything I can do. I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.